Welcome, 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 my lovelies. Welcome back. Hope you are all well, as always. First of all, before we start today's excitement, I want to thank everybody that turned up for the chat on the live stream. It was an absolute thrill, and I couldn't sleep afterwards when we went to bed, because I was just so happy that people were on and people were chatting, and that's what life is all about, and being kind to each other. Of course, cheers on this chilly day. Well, of course, some of you, it's not a chilly day. My lovely subscribers in Australia, you're probably far too hot as you get up this morning. It's so weird the way this planet works, how we're all in different weather all around the world. It always interests me. I understand it, but it does interest me. Okay, let's put this fresh cup of tea down. Yes, it's just dull outside. It's a slight breeze and it's mild. So for December in the UK, or for this part of the UK, that's very good. I do have an incense burner burning over against the wall in a holder. I can't see it, but just in case you see any plumes of smoke coming across the screen, we are not on fire. Just before anybody comments. But yes, thank you everybody for coming along to the live stream, and thank you to the people that went into the shop afterwards and bought some items. I am extremely grateful that you did, and they have you may have them already by the time this video goes out. I don't know how long this video is going to take to do, but they were sent first thing this morning, and I made my usual origami boxes, but I bought some lovely Christmas card paper, so the ones I'm sending off at the moment are going off all Christmassy looking, which I thought was just a nice little touch. So today's video, I have a new commission to do, a new house from a lovely client, and it's going to be just extremely different from the last one, which I absolutely love. So the last one, as you know, was the Italian villa. When my client has properly dressed the rooms, at the moment she's just put furniture in each room to put it in its place, you know, not dressed it, but just sort of stored it, because as we know, a lot of the time we have to store all our pieces in different places. And talking of which, this new commission I'm doing, it was first of all, it was given to me to do as really just to dress it up on the outside and make it give it a sort of Christmas look, and it's going to be really just a storage cupboard, just to hold Christmas items for my client, so she has somewhere to put everything. So then of course we got together and started talking. I went to see the house, which I have here. I bet you can't wait to see it. But anyway, the conversations went on, and we've come to decisions and agreements on different ideas that I had. This, first of all, was to order a load of bits and pieces. The house is small, I will show you in uno momento. But this box here, everything in it at the moment is to do with what's going to be on and in the house. So there's lots of different bits here, bits and pieces. It's amazing how much, well, as you all know, it's amazing when you do a list of things that you want for a property, how much it builds up financially. It's incredible. It's so easy to spend money, isn't it, in the dollhouse world, as a hobby, although all hobbies, I'm sure, are very expensive in their own right. But yes, definitely dollhousing can turn out a lot of money. But it looks, there's John Boy outside. I shall just let him in because the door is locked. John Boy's just come in and said it smells nice. Here he is.
Good morning, everyone.
He's come
On this cold old December
yes,
morning.
Yes, you've come to do your house, haven't you?
I
To
have.
carry on with your
Hopefully,
house.
I'm going to finish this weekend. So
Ooh.
that's my plan. That's my plan.
Ooh, check him out.
Yeah.
I am videoing bits of his house, so that will go on as a separate video and you'll be able to see it. But in the meantime, I shall carry on with this video. And so what I'll do next is just show you the house as it is and sort of what I intend to do with it. As always, when I start the house, I have a fairly big idea of what I want it to look like and what I want to do with it, but of course as you start the journey I think of other things and maybe plans change here and there to make it one lovely property at the end of the video. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the job in hand. Okay, so here we have the house. I was gasping for a drink this morning. All done for till the next one. Okay, so here we have the house. I do love a dollhouse, whatever it looks like. Maybe from a distance it doesn't look too bad to you, but it's not great. It's not. I have to say it's not great. But I will show you what is lovely is it's only narrow, so I shall turn it round and I'll show you the back. So it's got this lovely picture set into the wood on the back there. It's done very well. I think it's some kind of transfer that's been put on, because just faintly around the edge you can see a sort of broken edge around there, but it's a very nice picture. I don't know if you can, hopefully you can see it okay. Let me just move the camera forward a bit. Oops, there we are. So it's just got a lovely picture on the back there. Oops, and if I turn it back round again. There we are. What I'll do, I'll just pick the camera up and I'll show you it a bit closer and you can see how it's built to start with. Now, oh, by the way, any noise you hear in the background, it's our JB working on his house. Only me. Right, so we'll show you the roof bit here. The lady wants to, or the client wants to keep the roof as it is. It's quite detailed really, and it's very unusual, and I like this this relief work on the top there. I think that's rather nice, but that does just lift off. I'll get hold of it. I'm trying to do this with one hand. It does lift off, and as you can see, oh, and also the client wants to keep these bits down each side. There's one on each side. This one here as well, but the rest of it I can do what I want with it. It's so nice seeing it before the after, because it's just so exciting to go on that journey, all the plans I have for it. So as you can see, the windows are very naive, just these thick bits of wood. I mean, they're okay as a dollhouse, but it's rather sort of clumsy. And the doorway is fairly short. It isn't 1/24 scale, they are 1/12 scale windows, but the door is quite short that's been put in it, and it's very as I said, it's very thick, the wood, not very sort of detailed. If I open it up inside, and all we have basically is sort of shelving. And as I said, the client wants to just put her Christmas items in it, sort of use it as a store cupboard, but it's going to be very Christmassy. So the story has gone from that to we'll start from the top here.
We're going to have Santa's bedroom at the top, so the client has a bed and things for Santa, so that's going to be a sort of bedroom area. Then these two areas down below, these two floors, are going to be the stock rooms holding all the Christmas items for the Santa, that Santa's keeping for everybody, and it is actually going to be a shop on the ground floor. So it's going to be a Christmas shop, but Santa does live up in the eaves. So down here, as you go in, we're going to have a shop area. I don't know which side is which, but we'll just say shop area. And in the shop, obviously there'll be lots of Christmassy things, but in the shop somewhere we're also going to have an area that gives the effect of a sort of Santa's grotto. So it's going to be a lot more than just a storage cabinet, basically. So you will be able to open it and admire it and enjoy it. So I'm going to put lots of things in. I'm going to put electric in. It's going to have lighting. I've got some lovely lights. But first of all, I won't start on the inside yet. As you know, I like to start on the outside and get that done. So the inside, I'll talk about what I want to do with it properly when it comes to that. But if I just close the doors, what I am going to do first of all is take all of this off. So it means cutting. So I'm going to cut everything off to make it back to a flat piece of wood, and cut these windows out because they're glued in well. And I'm going to take the door area out, the whole thing, and just basically cut it all out. And as you can see there, it's quite sort of basic inside. There we are. And it did have sort of snow all over it to start with when the client bought it. And it had sort of like the fake snow with all the bits of glitter in it, and really a bit sort of cheapish looking ish. And I want really some more real effect snow on it, so I've done some research on that, and we'll see how we go with it because it will all be new again. And the outside of it, I'm going to clad it slightly differently from the hillside house. I am going to use foam, but I'm going to use a ready-made foam board and colour it all in. So we've got all this to look forward to. So let me get on with it. What I'll do is first of all I'll just have a fight with it and take all the windows and the door out, and just get back to the basic door frame before I start adding things to it. Okay, now I can't hold the camera and the mic and everything and do this job, and there's nowhere to set it up. I'm out in the open here. Oh, here's John Boy coming back down to work.
God, it's nippy.
Nippy.
Hello everyone. Back in the warm.
He's going back in there.
Yes.
Right. So I just wanted to show you where I'll pick these bits up, where the windowsills and the ledges were. All I'm doing, where they're joined to the house itself, I'm just getting a chisel here and putting it down. I'm putting the where it slopes on one side, the end of the chisel, I'm putting that nearest the wall. And then so the flat side, the sharp side, is nearest the outside of the house. I don't know if that makes any difference to anybody. Well, I mean, it does make a difference. If you do it this way, it can go into the house itself. So that shape there helps you put it at an angle but keep the blade flat and smooth. But I just banged it fairly solid a couple of times at each end, and it just broke away basically, so that's fairly smooth. Obviously that will all be sanded and finished off, and I'll do the same down there. I'll turn the house round and put it in the vise and do the other side there, and then I'll get the big door out and do the same with that, with the windows and the doorway. And then after that I'll get a tool and I can show you how I'm going to cut the windows out. Yeah, that's at this stage. I always think of this as the storm before the calm, not the other way around. It will be calm when finished. Right, now before I cut the windows out, just to show you what I'm doing, the holes that the original windows would be, they're not the right size. These windows are just a fraction bigger, but they'll look much nicer, much better. So what I do to measure them, instead of putting it on and then trying to cut a hole all the way around, it doesn't have to be exactly central with that window because it's going to be a brand new window. So all I've done is choose two sides, and I'm choosing this side because I don't want the window to come any closer to the sides of the wall here. So I'm choosing this side and along the bottom there. So I'm working out if I want the windows slightly higher or slightly lower to fit them all in. So the square ones in the top, I'm just laying them in this corner here, and I'll do the same with the other two windows as well in the same position. So put them in so they're that height and that, so two sides are already cut for you. That's what I'm trying to say. And then I've just measured the extra both ways and added a millimetre on, and hopefully you can see. So it just comes up to there. So that's the new hole for the window. So it will be up here, along here, and then down there to the bottom there and along. And then the rectangular windows, I've done exactly the same thing, just laid them in that corner, measured from there to there and there to there, added 2 millimeters on just for a snug fit, and then measured up, and that comes up to there, along there and out to there. So I've done that with each of the windows. What I am doing is where the door is, because it's especially compared to the windows, it's an abnormal size. These are 1/12 scale size, more or less. So what I'm doing is using a bigger door. The door comes up a little bit too high for this window, and there's no point in moving these up because then I'd have to move all of them, and it would just look, they'd be right up to the top there, and it would look out of proportion. So in this case, I'm taking out this window, so it will look really nice and symmetrical. The door will come up so far, and then there'll be a wall here, and windows all around it. So when the doors are shut, it'll be nice and even. And I might do something above the front door. I haven't got to that part of the journey yet, but now my brain is working overtime, as it always does as the journeys go on. So I shall cut these areas out where all the windows are going to go. First of all, that's the next step. Oh, and I'm using the tool is outside on the workbench, but I'll just show you the box again. That's the tool that I use, which is excellent. And to do just square shapes out there like that, I'm using this tool here, not the round one. The round one doesn't come up to the edge of corners exactly. Obviously there's a gap there, but this one there's just got the small blade there, and it just oscillates backwards and forwards, so I can go straight into the wall and cut right into corners. Absolutely perfect tool, wouldn't do without it. Okay, there we are. So that's all the new holes cut, slightly just a little bit bigger than the original windows. And this one I'm just going to get a thin sheet of strip wood to that size, and I'm just going to fill it in. But that's the new hole cut for the door. So this is the point I like to call the point of no return. We certainly won't be going back. Only forwards from now on. Now, on the outside's all the wood is taken off. I've sanded it with the little mouse sander. Great little tool that. Sanded all that down, so that's ready to coat the outside. I've taken off the little embellishments that used to be on it. On the inside, well, I'd cut out the windows. It left a lot of the
these thick bits of wood here where I'd cut holes out of it, and it was all very weird looking. So I got the chisel and I've chipped into it with the chisel and taken all that off. I've left this one because I'm going to put wood on the on that side of it to fill the hole in, so that will be fine. The rest of it I've taken off, and I've sanded that so it's fine and really smooth and sanded, so that's ready for painting now. I've mixed up my own shade of red, so it's not just a bright bright red, it's just a slightly warmer red, I think. So I'm going to go over all the insides and paint that before I go any further with the outside. And what I'll do is I'll just give it one coat first of all, fairly thin coat, sort of spread it right out so it's not too thick and lumpy. Thick lumpy paint is just horrible to look at, so I'll paint the whole thing. I'll let it dry, then I'm going to sand it with a fine bit of sandpaper just to smooth the paint down, and then I'll give it another coat to build it up and protect it, and then I can carry on with the rest of the house on the outside really. So it's very therapeutic when you're just doing this on your own and just enjoying the day basically and thinking about nice things. There we are. So I'll just carry on with that, get it sanded, get it dried, and then we'll go from there. I've just realised I've got sunlight coming in on me. It looks almost like spring out there, and it's very close to Christmas. Strange. Now, so I've done the insides of the door. That's the insides of the door, and I've filled that window in above. So just cut a piece of wood exactly the same size, so it just fit in snug, and I've wood glued it, and it's nice and flat for the outside now. So now we're going to go onto the outside of the building, and this time I bought some foam sheets that are already marked, already carved. So they're a newish product out from my suppliers. But if you look, they're completely different finish. They're already scored and cut themselves. But to do this on this scale would take you hours to cover a house this size. If you were doing a little diorama or a shadow box or something with a building in, which I am planning on doing in the new year, you could just do your own on the bits of foam. And if I show you it up close, hopefully you can see it's a nice brickwork there. This is the Flemish Bond brickwork. So it's a long brick and a short brick, long brick, short brick. That's called Flemish Bond, that one. I just thought it was had a slightly more interest in it. So they're not that cheap really to buy, but you're paying for the fact that it's not going to take you several hours to do. You can just cut them and glue them on. So what I'm going to do, just for neatness, I'm not going to take time cutting these out around the windows or anything. I'm just going to glue them on. So I've got a nice straight edge there, and glue the whole thing on. It sticks out over the door, that doesn't matter. I'll show you from the inside, and then let them dry, and then get a scalpel and cut the windows out and cut the excess off. And then the job is done. The time is going to be taken with these when I start painting, because I'm going to paint all the bricks, not completely individually, but I am going to colour them to give them a certain look on the outside. So I shall get on with that, just basically put it on PVA, gluing them on, and then I'll weight them down and let them dry before I cut them out.
Okay, and here we have the very technical way of attaching foam to dollhouses. Cut it, glue it, and weight it down. So we've got one side there that will be trimmed after it's dry. I'm going to leave it overnight, and here we have the front of the house in 2 pieces. So there we are. So it's getting late in the day. As you can see, it is dark outside. So I'm going to leave this overnight and come out in the morning, and it'll be nice and dry for me to cut all the excess off. And then I can turn the house on its other side and glue the other side and weight that down. Hurrah! Time for tea, I think. Okay, Nigel, that's not helping, darling. I know you're purring very loud today, aren't you? Eh? Hey, boy? Okay. So see, Nigel's helping me today. Okay, so here's the brickwork all stuck on, and that's what it looks like on the inside. So I'm just going to go around it. Nigel's, are you going to help, Nigel? You're very loud today. Mind you, he does purr loudly. And Georgie's very, very quiet. You've got to listen carefully to hear Georgie. Oh, he's down. Oh, he's decided to lay down. Not helping anymore. So yes, I'll just cut one of these out, and you can see how satisfying it is. Very satisfying doing this. Oops. Lovely sunny day here today in the UK as well, which all helps. Yeah, we have windows. I can just tidy it up with the scalpel, and then after I've cut these out, then I'm going to start painting the bricks. And of course you can keep all these odd bits for smaller projects. As I've said before, I'm planning on doing some shadow boxes or little box diorama, a bit like fronts of buildings and things. So I'm going to make a few of those in the new year, and some of them I will be selling. So they will. Hopefully, my plans are to put them in my shop and sell them. But they'll be original pieces, and I will have made them up. I may even get some photos or take photos of buildings that I like, and then sort of try and copy or emulate them in a miniature. To do with some of the brickwork, I could actually use this tool, just the tweezers. I'm not going to leave it all completely uniform because I don't want it absolutely brand new. So just here and there, it just depends how much time you want to spend on it. But just in certain places, I will dent bricks in where they've sort of make them look more worn and old, and some areas here and there. I don't know if might have to use the scalpel, I'll see, or the tweezers, but I might pick out, yes, I can do it with tweezers, just pick out broken bricks and just start messing it up a bit. They don't come already messed up because it's how much you want to do to it yourself. So what I will do is probably put one of my audio books on and just sit quietly and start doing these where bricks are missing. You can push them right in. Excellent.
and then breaking other bits off here and there. So I will carry on doing that and get all the texture and everything first of all, because as I say, they're too new. It's not a new built house, it's an old building, so it's, as the story goes. So I will get on with that and then show you when I get to the painting stage. Oh, now you come to help. You should hear him purring. Hang on. Oh. Can everybody hear him purring? Hey? Hey? He's neat. Come on, darling. There. Oh, bless him. Right. Daddy shall carry on. Okay, now I've started painting the brickwork. I'm using acrylic colours. I've got about seven or eight different colours here. When you start looking into brickwork, it's amazing the amount of different colours, the different varieties of brickwork that you can get. It's quite amazing, really. But what I've done first of all is I've gone over the bricks evenly first of all with all this sort of bright yellow colour. It's quite strong looking. I still have to cover this one, but there's all the yellow brickwork. Now I'm just mixing up sort of different shades of muddy brown colours to go over it. It's going to be quite muted when it's done, but the grouting will help lift the whole thing when I've finished with that, because I'm going to grout all these bricks as well. So when I'm mixing up the different colours, it's coming out, when it dries, it will have different shades all over it, sort of in big areas, darker, lighter. Then I'm going to go over and pick out individual bricks. Then I'm going to probably grout it and then dry brush the whole thing again with excuse me, with other colours. So basically you're just building it up as you go along. So if I see, that's more of a yellow area there, just blend it in. Then I'll go to a darker shade. So that's just to get the brickwork sort of covered with a coat of colouring first of all. But I'll go over it and over it until I get the desired effect. Now, I've just popped back on again to tell you, since the last clip, I'm listening to an audio book while I'm doing this, and just because it's winter time and it's dark and what have you, I'm sort of listening to darker audio books. At the moment I'm listening to a story, some dark tales of a vampire, or tales of vampires sort of thing, sort of gothic stories I'm listening to. And one is set back in time, and it's very well written by the sounds of it. But I'm getting quite into it, and as I'm listening to it, different things are happening in the novel, and I thought, oh, I could do with a cup of tea. So I got up, put the audio book off so I didn't miss any of the story. Looking good. And as you can see, it's quite dark. Well, it's pitch black out there now. But I went outside and shut the door to keep the warmth in, to walk up to the house to make a cup of tea. And lovely little Georgie, the little terror Georgie, came through the bushes over there really fast, so it made a noise, and he rushed right past my feet up to the house. I can't tell you the words that I actually used. I think it was more of a scream than anything else. But the little rotter frightened the life out of me. Oh my goodness, I thought a vampire had jumped out the bushes. even though in back of my mind, I do know that we've, as far as I know, we've never had any history of vampiric things happening in the UK. Oh my goodness. But, well, of course, apart from Dracula, and it was written in Whitby, or the novel came from Whitby, the idea, and I have been up to that abbey in Whitby where it was all sort of based from. But anyway, I have to say it did... he frightened the life out of me, let's say that. When he got into the house, he just looked at me and said, "Where's my tea? Where's my food?" He had no idea what he'd just done to one of his daddies. Little rotter. Anyway, I shall carry on building up and building up until we get to a really good part in the journey. Oh, lovely fresh cup of tea. Okay, now, so I've painted all the, oh, you probably can't see it on here, I've painted the sides of the building with the brick paint, all different shades, I think 7 shades altogether. I've done that both sides, and I've done the front of the door. At the moment, let me push this back, I'll deal with that later after I've done the fronts. I've got the narrow bit and the wide bit. I'll start on the wide bit. If I hold it up so you can see, it doesn't matter which way up it goes. Actually, you can see more if I just hold it like this. So it's quite, it's brick colours, but it's quite dark. For this kind of house, it's a Christmas shop, a Christmas house. So I want it light and cheerful. So with the grouting, they're quite deep, all the brick marks there, and you can see where I've taken chunks out everywhere. So the grouting, I don't want a dark grey colour like I did with the floor in the last house. I want a very light colour. So this is where the magic happens. Or doesn't happen, because I shall tell you, this is the first time I'm doing it like this. So what I'm using a white, just a white fine powder grout. I've got lots of this, and I've tipped it into some of it into a container. I won't tip it too much, but I'll just show you. I've also thrown in a load of sand, just fine sand, and it's just that sand colour. So when I mix it in my head, this is all in my head at the moment, when I mix it and it goes on to the house, it's going to be an off-white, veering towards a sandy off-white, and it seems feasible considering that's the two colours I'm mixing together. And also, apart from the fact it's changing the colour of the grout while it's still dry, it also, again in my head, it's going to add strength to the grout when it's set. So it'll be a nice solid finish. So that's that mixed together. As I say, I'll mix more as I'm doing the sides of the house as well, and the other front part of it. So this time, when I've done the grouting before, on the previous project and other houses, I've mixed it up wet and put it on with a spatula and rubbed it all in, and then got a wet cloth, and started wiping it all off again and rinsing the cloth and wiping it off. Excuse me. This time I'm going to do it differently. The reason I'm doing it differently is because, well, I like to push myself all the time, so I like to try new things all the time. So it's building up a vocabulary of what you can do. And also, when John Boy and me bought our slabs that we've got on the outside on the the patio and up to the house. We laid those ourselves. We looked on YouTube, learned how to do it, got the sand, levelled it, put the slabs on, and then we tipped all the cement, the grout in between the slabs, tipped it on and swept it with a broom, and so it went into all the cracks. And then we put the hose pipe over it in the garden on a mist spray, and we just sprayed the whole thing, and then we swept it all, and it stayed in the grouting lines, but wiped off the slabs. So I'm going to do a miniature version of that and see how it happens. But the good thing is for you guys, you can see me trying things for the first time. If this doesn't work, I'll go over it. I will work on plan B. I haven't got plan B yet, but I'll think of plan B if plan A goes wrong. But in my head, it can't but not go wrong. So let's get on with it. So what I'm going to do really is just tip. I'll just start here, and I'm going to start tipping sort of piles of it along, like so. It's going to make a bit of a mess, and then when I've brushed it all in, let's just do this bit, and I'll show you before I carry on and do the rest, because you don't want to sit and watch me cover the whole front of the house. But I'm just going to use a small brush. I'm working on a miniature scale now, and I'm going to just spread it out. So this is doing what I expected it to do so far. So we could say so far so good. I'm hoping it all does come off the brickwork. You know, if not, do not panic. You can let that dry and recolour as if you're starting from the beginning again, and put the grouting on wet. But if I do this with you guys, then you can see as I see, so you can see it working or not working, and what I do to correct it, which is I think a good thing to do. So there we are. So that's going into all the grout lines. And what I might do is do it reasonably rough, so that some areas hardly have any grouting at all. And I'm going to do that on purpose, so it's not neatly grouted, the whole house. It's in the story, it's an old building. It's been here for some time. That's why a lot of the brickwork is sort of broken away. So the grouting wouldn't be perfect, which is ideal if it doesn't go on completely evenly. It gives you the effect of an aged brickwork. Got a bottle of water here, just so much water you can just see it. And I've poured in, I don't know if you can see, it's actually sort of white. I've squirted in quite a bit of PVA. It's just a fine mister, a plant mister, and I don't know yet if it's actually going to spray. But I've swirled it around a lot, and I'll do that again before I spray it. But I'm going to take this outside onto the workbench outside. I know it's just gluey water that's going to come out, hopefully, fingers crossed. But I don't want it all over my mat and indoors, and everything will be wet and sticky. So I'll take this out and spray it outside, and then I'm planning on either rubbing it or dabbing it with some paper toweling instead of a wet cloth. So we'll see. Okay, so luckily we have JB here to do the filming, because I need.
Good morning, everyone.
He's the other side of the camera at the moment. Okay, so let me just show you. If you want to, you can zoom in and out or move in and out, depending on what you can see, JB. So I've covered the whole thing in the stuff, and just give it a little bit of a shake, and then hopefully, as I said, this will work or not work, but we shall see. So I've got the PVA and water here. I'll just put this tissue in my pocket, and then I'm just going to spray it. It is coming out, that's good. Yeah. I just wanted to do this outside because it's going to be very wet all over everywhere, and it's sticky water. So let's do that. Oops. And then get a bit of paper towel. Oh, and I have to say, when I paused the video when I was indoors brushing this on, it was tickling my throat, so obviously I was breathing it in. So I put my mask on, just for anyone else that wants to have a go. Oh, coming up. But yes, I wore a mask to do the rest, because it's obviously in the air, it's so fine. Look at that. And depending on how much you want or how little you want, you can dab more off or apply more. Some of the areas I'm going to put a bit more on. I want it a bit thicker. There we are.
Looks real. Good.
Doesn't it look good?
Mm.
It is spraying, it's just maybe not spraying as easy as if it was just water, but it's definitely working. Let's take another paper towel out. It's always a relief when you've got something in your mind and you don't know if it's going to work until you actually do it. But that is exactly what I was hoping. And I've put the powder on the coin stones as well, so it just lifts those slightly and just brings them out a little bit. You can see the joins in the brickwork a bit better. There. Okay. If I
hold it up.
If I hold that up, and you can just have a
Wow,
sort of look.
that's really good.
Doesn't it look good?
Yeah, it does.
I might put a little bit more on just because I can, and do another coat here and there, and then I'll let it dry, and then I'm going to colour some areas again and make it even more sort of real looking.
Oh.
But the good thing is it's sort of lightened the brickwork a little bit, so it wasn't as before this. It was very dark, as you saw on the video, but now it's more what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I'll clean it up around there and do different things. But yes, I shall carry on and then show you the next stage of it.
Okay.
Thank you for filming, JB.
That's all right. You're welcome. Okay.
Now I've taken the chimneys off the top of the roof there. They were just round bits of doweling, solid. So it was just like a block on top, and it was very false looking. But I bought these little square chimneys. I don't want anything too big on this house. It would look not very good scale. They do come just very, very, very pale terracotta, very pale. I personally wouldn't leave them just how they are like that, because then they look like they don't look as real. So I've painted it, just gone over it roughly with a better sort of terracotta colour, and then as you can see around the top there, it's lots of soot, and then I'm going to bring that down the chimney. To do this one, to keep it on here, I've used my scalpel to scrape off some pastels, black, or I think that's the off black. And then I'm just dipping my brush in some PVA and dipping it on the brush, and then I'll just smudge it on randomly, so it doesn't look as if it's being placed. So you want it as natural looking as possible, and I'll do all round. If you walk around behind the building, you want to be able to see it from all angles. So just you can imagine the chimneys have been there for years and years and years, so there's lots of soot has fallen down around them as it's come out of the chimney. When it's dry, it won't really sort of rub off, it will just dry in with the PVA, and that will dry solid. Oops. And then I can glue those onto the top. I've put brickwork around the chimney as well, so I'll show you that in a minute. And And then I've just got to decorate a bit more the outside. I've got windows to put in, but I want to do some more to the brickwork, another layer on top of what I've already done, just to really build it up. So I shall go and wash my brush before that dries, wash my fingers, put the pastels away, and then carry on. So the outside of the house is sort of near finished, but I will get the windows and everything done so you can see it all properly on the outside by the end of this video. Now, I've just stopped for a moment while I'm working on the house. Just stop for a minute just to let some little bits dry. But I thought I would just stop and tell you a very, very short story. Well, a very short but humorously funny story about chimneys. Who knew there could be a funny story about chimneys? Oh, a fresh cup of tea. And I've made it myself. See, I can do that sometimes. Yes, so as I'm working on this house, I thought I'll start on the chimneys, change those. So the bits on the top, the round bits of doweling that were glued on the top to give a chimney look, I took those off, sawed those off. The rest of it's nice and neat, I like that, but I didn't like the finish of it. So I thought obviously I need to do whatever, try and work my magic if I can, and just see what it does. So because just to give you an insight really of just how bad I am with the either addiction or the obsession, I'm not really sure what it's called. It could be an addiction really about dolls' houses, because if we go out, or if I have to do anything for any length of time that doesn't involve doll houses, my brain starts getting twitchy, and I start seeing things in dollhouse scale. But anyway, so with the chimneys, and I like, as you know, I like to do as much detail as I know I can, or try to, and just push myself constantly. So I thought it would be easy just to do this, do that, and leave it. And I thought, no, I need to know more detail. So being as obsessed as I am, I think that what I do and the way I talk when I'm out, and the way I look at things when I'm out, and translate them all into 12th scale, to me, I'm completely normal. So I don't think it weird or anything. So I don't act any differently. I just act normal when I'm thinking and doing these things. So without thinking about it, because it's perfectly normal to do, I thought to myself, to go that one step further, I just need to look at some chimneys, some chimney pots, and ones with bricks on, and whatever, and just see what they look like in our neighbourhood. So it's a very large neighbourhood. It would take me weeks to walk around it, but there's a small section around where I live, some streets crisscrossing, and I thought I shall walk round streets I know well. And as I walk around, I'm looking at different chimney breasts and chimneys and things, and the brickwork especially, and to so I could have a proper look at it when I got home. I'm going around with my camera, pointing up at different roofs, and I'm taking pictures and then zooming in on them and thinking, oh good, I'll crop that when I get in, and I'll zoom right into the bricks and just see what's happening. See where they're eroding most, whatever, just to try and emulate this. So far around, it's just during the day. It's about 3:15. I think the kids have left their schools and gone, so there's no kids around in the streets. So it was nice and quiet, and it's windy, so no one's really out. I only saw a couple of people, but as I'm going around taking pictures. And I'd taken some photos of one chimney breast in particular, and walked down a couple of houses, and I was still looking up, And the lady from the house came out down her path and called me. And I thought I knew her, because I wasn't thinking any other way. I was just being completely normal. And of course, you know, now I can think outside of my box. She was obviously wondering what I was doing, and she questioned me. What are you doing? I saw you taking pictures of my house. So I had to go up to her and explain to her, and just tell her exactly what I was doing. I think at one point at the beginning, she just looked at me right away completely, had decided in her head I was doing something wrong, doing something negative, taking pictures of the house. I was obviously going to go back later and jump down the chimney and break in, and I was obviously taking photos of the chimney to see if they were wide enough to take my body, which none of them were, I have to say. They don't make chimneys as big as that in the UK, or certainly not round here. So as I sort of described and went on a bit, I even had to get my phone and just put on my pictures app, and there's nothing but dolls' houses on it. There's well, Georgie and Nigel, and JB, of course. Lots of those, but in between is it's all houses, it's all doll houses, it's anything miniature. It's close-ups of streets and gutters and drains and all that. So she saw that I had all this on my phone, and I actually said, so I don't want to sound a bit strange to you, but I would like to say I'd quite like your chimney. And with that, she actually, because she then believed what I was doing, she was in hysterics, and she says no one ever has, not even her husband, ever said to her they like her chimney. So so I thought I would just tell you what's just happened. Well, not just, because I've been in the workshop again for about an hour doing this to one chimney. So now I will show you what I've been doing with the chimneys. But I just thought that might give somebody a laugh that's maybe not having such a laugh of a day, and maybe that's made you titter a little bit, hopefully. Right, okay, so I'll take you to the chimneys, and I'll show you sort of stage one, the main stage, and then I'll show you what I've ended up with. Okay, so excuse my shaky hands. They're not shaky through a condition. They're just shaky because I'm not very steady. So here's first of all, it was, as you know, it was just wood around the top, and I've made some more foam. I just got all these offcuts that I've been using for covering the house in, and just sat here and painted them, finished them all off, and then cut them into sections to wrap around the chimney breast that was just a block of wood. So I just want to show you. You can see the edges of each piece. They have to come somewhere. So if I didn't have one coming out the side, and I brought this in a bit more, the one going this way would have shown on this side. So obviously you can't cover that up. But I'll just show you. Well, I'm saying you can't cover it up, but I'll just show you how it looked at this stage. So then I went in with a thin tool and scored all the brick joins just here. So I scored them all, mushed them up. I took bits out. I've taken bits out on some of the bricks, but more on the corners, because I noticed, for whatever reason, I'm not that technically minded when it comes to architecture, but the bricks on the corners were more worn than the bricks on the flat wall. I'm just thinking that's probably because it's the extremities of the building. So when the wind blows across the corners and the rain, that probably is why it eats the corners away a bit more. But anyway, so that was stage one, and then I'll score all the bricks. I'll paint them all, grout them, and then fill the grout in around the top there. So I'll show you what I've over here. Show you what I've ended up with. If I can zoom in at all, there we are. So you can see I've
Sorry, my hand's in the way really, but you can, hang on, if I show you here. So I've taken away bricks here and there. Some bricks I've taken out, just little bits here and there, bits filled in there. And I've sort of mushed these up a bit, broken bits off on the corners, and I've done that all round the back as well. Two reasons. One is because the lady's house, when the client's house, when it's in situ, I think she can walk behind it to see it, so she can see the picture on the back. So she'd want the views to look good there. And two, because it's a shoddy job if you don't do it all round. Just because you're not going to be able to get round to see it doesn't mean it shouldn't be equally worked on. Well, that's what I think anyway. So there we are, there's bits broken away. I've done darker bricks, lighter bricks, which is what I've been filming outside or taking pictures of. And even I noticed, I'm not sure if I can get it on camera, but where the when I've put the grout in right up there where it meets the concrete bit there, you can see it just along there, I noticed that in some corners of the where the grouting is, it's missing there as well, where it's come out on the corners. So I've purposely not grouted in some of the corners, not everyone but some of them, just again to give it that tiny extra bit of detail. Like I say, that anyone that has the house or anyone looking at it would not know that. They would just look at it as an overall thing and like it or not like it. But there you can see on that corner with the light coming through, just a tiny bit of grout just fallen away there. And the corners aren't flat because the bricks are all broken and worn. So there we are. So that's a result of taking photographs and being questioned by a stranger about her chimney. But there we are. Hopefully you'll like that. Now we'll spend the next hour turning that into that. So after doing the other chimney and looking at my photographs, I then, for some unknown reason, became completely obsessed with chimneys, and I ended up going on a bigger walk and taking more photographs. So I put some, out of all the different photos I looked through, I did end up deleting them all off my phone because it just looked like someone that had a weird obsession, and that's just not a good thing. I mean, who fills their phones with chimney pots or chimney breasts? Anyway, I diverse. So yes, so taking more photos, and just because of talking about the little bits of detail, it made me think, what else can I do? And put another layer on and another layer on. And I do have to stop somewhere, as we all do. There's a drop-off point or a stop-off point or whatever we want to call it. Who knows? Thank you. So yes, so I have added, just in short, I have added a bit more to the chimney, and I shall show you now. And also I've finished the front of the house. I've put the windows in, I've put the door in, I've painted the door, I've painted the windows, I've added detail on top of the windows. So I shall show you so far everything I have added to the outside of the house, which is sort of looks more or less completion, or very near completion. I may add a little bit here and there as time goes on, but at the moment I just wanted to get this video finished for you guys, so you can see the first stage of doing the outside of the house. As I for some reason I normally like to start on, the day will come where I will start on the inside of a house first, but at the moment I just like, for some reason, doing that. So I'll show you the house on the outside, finished. Hate doing this, but finished. Meaning maybe or may not be finished. And you can see the only thing I can say that I know isn't finished, and yes, I'm going to go
go back to them is the chimney breasts. I looked through my cabinets and things and my supplies, and I thought I had some real lead flashing left over from another project, and I can't find it, so I haven't. I've used it all up. So I have ordered more lead flashing, real lead, and I'm going to cut that, just a thin strip of it, and put it around the base of the 2 chimney pots just to finish those off and make them waterproof. It will just add yet another layer, another element, and make them look even more like chimney breasts. But I sort of promise you that I will stop with the chimney breasts after that happens. I think the lead flashing will just set it off nicely. So anyway, I'll show you what I've done at this stage so far.
Just zoom into the infamous chimney breasts. As you can see, I've put another row of bricks around here because some chimney breasts had different stages of bricks, just to give them even more shape. So I've done that, and as I said, I will add lead flashing around the base of them when the lead arrives. But as you can see, I have covered the house in a light sprinkling of snow. That is stuck on, that doesn't come off. I'll show you that at the end of the video, what I've used. And here I've added details up here, made them sort of stone effect. Well, with the paints that I mixed up for this colour, I added sand into the paint to make it very sort of granular looking, just to show you how I got that idea. And if I come around this side, you can see I still have down the edge of the bricks there to colour, but that's fine, that will happen at another time. But I'm so far really pleased. The front door, as you know, I cut the hole for it and chose the door. I bought another door for it first of all, which I didn't like once I'd got it for this house. It was a lovely door, but just didn't go with the image I was trying to achieve here. But this door very much does. So I've coloured it, or stained it myself along with the windows, and painted it bright red and put a gloss varnish on it. Because what Christmas house wouldn't have a bright red Santa coloured door? And I've put the hardware on the door, nice and shiny hardware, make it nice and crisp. And I've added a step around the base there for them to step on as a sort of welcome mat. I may decorate that, maybe put a couple of presents there just to show that it's a Christmas shop. But there we have it, folks. And I've just put sort of snow in the windows all at the same angle, so it looks like it's blown all in the same direction when it was snowing. So hopefully you like what you see.
So here we are, finally at the end of this video. Seeing as this is the last video before Christmas, sadly, basically because I would have run out of time by the time Christmas Day comes, but I have changed my top into my bright red Christmas coloured top, just to go with the video. I do this all for you. Oh dear. Actually, I just went down up to the house to get another cup of tea, and thought while I was there that I know I'll put my red top, my red fleece on just to go with their front door. And it is Christmas. Who knew? Cheers everybody, by the way. So thank you as always for watching. If you have, thank you very much. I am extremely grateful for this, for watching, and also to let you know that this is part one of the Christmas house. Although I've only just been given the commission, so it won't be done for Christmas, but the lady that the client that owns the house. It will be an ongoing yearly thing for her. As I say, it's more of a storage cabinet really, for all her Christmas items that she can bring out at Christmas and put back in for the rest of the year, which is a very nice way of storing your Christmas minis. So yes, so the video in the new year will be part 2 of this video, and I will be going into the inside and doing what I want, well, doing what I've imagined in my head, and let's you can watch with me and see what happens there. Hopefully it will be as lovely as the inside. Also, John Boy, just to let you know, John Boy's tea room that he's done, and the charity shop, I think he is about to start dressing the tea room, the upstairs and the tea room itself, and the kitchen, the working kitchen. I have made him a kitchen, well, I had designed a kitchen island to make him, but when I drew it and imagined it in the house, it would have blocked views from behind the island, so where the sink is and the oven, whatever, you wouldn't be able to sort of look through and see that. So between John Boy and myself, we have designed a table. It's a joint effort. I designed it first of all, and then John Boy gave his suggestions, and I changed some of it, and it's sort of more or less half and half designed by each of us. So I will be videoing John Boy dressing the tea room as soon as we've both got time to sit and do it. So that's a video to come along to see what he's doing to it. So that, I will be doing that for you, for your pleasure. Lots more videos planned for next year. I definitely am going to start on the big palace, Georgie's Palace, which is up in our conservatory, the 5 foot wide Ashford Hall, but it's going to be called Georgie's Palace. And I will be starting on that fairly soon in the new year. So that's all excitement still to come, amongst dozens of other projects as the year goes on. So all it leaves me to say is have a merry Christmas, happy holidays, or any other thing that people say around the world. That I can't speak enough languages to do it in other languages. But anyway, Merry Christmas to everybody, and thank you so much for watching. Please tell anyone that you know that also watches Dollhouse videos. Hopefully I can build up my subscribers in the new year. I am trying my best to get noticed, although I'm finding it difficult to know what to do with things. I'm learning about titles and thumbnails, so it's a lot more work to try and get YouTube to recognise me more, to push me up, so people can actually see me, because I've had so many messages over the time from people that have just come across me and didn't even know I was here, and I'm watching all my videos because they really enjoy them. So hopefully I can do something about that next year. I really need advice, but I will plod on, and we'll get there between us. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely Christmas. Try and keep warm and keep well, and we'll see you again in the new year. Take care, my lovelies. Bye.